And Israeli officials say the IDF is withdrawing from a key Gaza corridor in the ceasefire deal with Hamas, but will continue its offensive in the West Bank. This as families of the 3 hostages released over the weekend say the men were abused during 16 months in captivity, appearing thin and frail. Foreign correspondent Britt Clennett is in Tel Aviv with the latest. Britt, what's happening with these 3 hostages now?
Well, first of all, Diane, I want to report on something coming through moments ago from Hamas, which has now said it's going to postpone the release of the hostages expected next Saturday. That was supposed to happen on February 15th. We were expecting another 3 hostages to be released from Gaza. This delay wasn't expected, although we have seen these bumps, these hurdles along the way. Hamas claims that the IDF has delayed people from coming to the north, from returning to their homes, saying that they were firing at them and that they are slowing down aid, saying that the resistance has monitored the enemy's violations and failure to abide by the terms of the agreement. It's not clear exactly what this means in terms of ceasefire negotiations. Hamas clearly now accusing Israel of violating those ceasefire agreements. But certainly what I can say is, although mediators can get through this obstacle, whether they can or not, certainly, a lot of pressure here on Netanyahu to get the remaining hostages home. We saw the families of the 3 hostages that were released this weekend. They were describing how the men endured those horrific conditions. We had Ohad Ben Ami, Eli Sharabi and Or Levy, and they were looking frail and gaunt as they were handed over from Hamas to the Red Cross. Those images very much causing a lot of outrage here. Or Levy's brother saying they were subjected to physical and psychological abuse, adding that he doesn't think that any of the remaining hostages will actually survive any longer in those conditions. So certainly with this new statement from Hamas, a lot of concern and as amid growing pressure from Netanyahu at home to bring those hostages home.
And President Trump is now saying under his plan for the U.S. to take over Gaza that Palestinians would not be allowed to return to Gaza. He says it would take too long to rebuild and they'll be safer somewhere else nearby and that they'll be taken care of. How are leaders in the Middle East reacting to that?
Well, we had Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu come home last night after his meeting with Trump in D.C., very much praising the president's what he described as revolutionary creative vision for Gaza, clearly a nod to Trump's bombshell proposal, as you say, to clear out the Palestinians there, something outrightly rejected by the Arab world, by the Palestinian authorities. And as you say, Trump again doubling down on that plan, saying he is committed to buying and owning the Gaza Strip, indicating that Palestinians won't be going back. Trump saying that he would make sure the Palestinian refugees, however, would live beautifully. Now, we know that Netanyahu is set to convene the Security Cabinet on Tuesday after Israeli forces complete their withdrawal from the strategic corridor that separates North Gaza from the rest of the Strip. That allowed hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to continue to file through that corridor without IDF presence for the first time, many returning to staggering devastation. So we have to remember in this snag that we haven't expected, the stakeholders are as well the people of Gaza who have just had some relief and been able to go back to their homes, only to be concerned, according to the people we speak to on the ground there, that this ceasefire just won't hold and then the bombardment will start again.
And Britt, what's the latest on the IDF's operations in the West Bank? And what's next for this ceasefire deal?
Yeah, so, as these negotiators work to clearly iron out these creases to get this current ceasefire to phase 2, it's a much harder part of the ceasefire agreement because it raises the question of who governs Gaza afterwards and the IDF withdrawal. But this is all happening as the IDF is expanding its operation in the West Bank, and we have seen increasing violence as part of those raids occurring there.
All right, Britt Clennett in Tel Aviv. Britt, thank you.